Right, welcome back to the channel. So we have an engine for our MG3. The customer sent me a video of the engine running, so I know it runs. But it does have a noisy timing chain, so we are going to have to do the timing chain before we put it in. So there's our new engine. As you can see, it doesn't have a flywheel on it, which means I can't do the chain because the timing pin goes in there into the flywheel. And without a flywheel I can't time it, which means I've got to get the engine out of there first, take the flywheel off, put it on that one, and then I can do the chain. Right, if you haven't seen part one of this, I'll leave a link up there. Check that out first and you'll see the reason why we're doing this. Right, in order for me to get the plugs out of the ECU, I've got to take this cover off. And they put shear bolts on there, which makes it a pain in the ass. There's one there. There's one there. There's another one round there. Usually all I do is undo, get that one out, and just bend the cover back enough just to get the plugs off it. That would work. Oh, fucking hell. I've given up with that. So I'm just going to unbolt the battery tray with that all on it and just leave that with the engine. And then swap it all onto the other one. So unlike the ZS that I did the other day, we're dropping this one out complete with the gearbox on it. engine. Take that off just to get it out of the bloody way. Right, stormed ahead a bit. This drive shaft is out. That one there is out. The exhaust is off it. It's got this mount to do. It's going to drop it out the bottom. I think I'm going to have to take the inlet manifold off so it doesn't get all trapped up there. So I'm gonna, obviously it's disconnected off the head because the head's not on it, but I'll get all the pipes and stuff off and take it right out of the way. I've already degassed the aircon, so I've just got to take the pipes off. And to save me draining the power steering, I'm going to take the pump off the engine and place it aside. And then it's the mounts and then it's out. Right, it's looking a bit bare in there now. Inlet manifold's out, I've taken the starter motor out as well. Aircon pump is off and here's the power steering pump. I pulled the loom out down there. It's complete with the ECU, starter motor already attached to it, manifolds there. So, I got one water pipe here, just to take off from there. And yeah, mounts and then drop them out through the bottom. Is it? Oh, they always bloody do, don't they? Yeah. I know you'll never get it all out, will you? Right. Oh, simply lower it down, I suppose. Well, that was easy. I already undone the bottom bolts when the car was up in the air, so I didn't have to worry about tipping the engine over to undo them. So hopefully that should just pull off of there. Like so. Clutch arm is free, so that's good. Right, let's have clutch off. That clutch will go again. Yeah, that'll be right. Right, flywheel off. Right, one thing to note with these flywheels, the timing tool can go in one of two places, but only obviously one is right. Now that is the timing pin, hold that one there, because when I put the tool in, it goes quite deep and it's nice and snug, whereas on this hole it doesn't go very deep and it's all loose, which is why when you time these, it is important to take out 1 and 2 spark plugs and put metal rods in to get the pistons level in the bore, so you know you're putting the pin into the right hole. And the other thing to note about these engines as well is when you're tightening up the flywheel and the clutch, you mustn't turn the engine backwards or the timing will slip. So you need to lock the flywheel or tighten it in a way that the engine does not move, because the natural thing, because you're turning it clockwise at the back end, the natural thing is the engine is going to turn anti-clockwise, and that's the last thing you want with these, because the timing chain will slip. Okay, let's get this flywheel on. I need to move it around into the time position as well, so I'm going to get the rocker cover off and get 1 and 2 spark plugs out of it. Looks nice and clean in there. Yeah, they need changing. timing's out and that. Right, so let's get you a closer in. And obviously you've seen me do timing chains before on these. These holes need to point straight up, and as you can see that one isn't, but it's not far enough out to cause the damage that that one has done. So I need to get this cover off now, loosen that so I can move this cam forwards a little bit so I can get that upright and get this timing tool in. Oops, dropping them all over the bloody place. Right. Let's have that one there. This has already got a modified chain kit on it. So why is it gone again? Yeah, what not time this is. Why can't I get that pin in there? What is going on? There we go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the pin's now in the flywheel. This is pointing straight up, that one isn't. Yeah, so he drops in there nicely, look. But that one is a light year out. So I'm going to loosen that now. Turn that cam so that pin drops in. So I'm going that way. You need to push it forwards. Ready? That's it. Oh. Right, you should be at that. Ooh. Should better drop that timing pin in now. It's gone a bit far out, I guess.
Yeah, you went then, like jumped your
yeah.
Go in there now. Jumped your spanner. You have to go that far.
Yeah, it went a fair way.
Go in there.
That's it, he's there now. And he's in. That's it. Timed.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
So that's in.
Do you know what? That is not the modified tensioner, is it?
Don't know.
No.
How'd you tell?
The spanner size is different. It's a big 24 or 27 on the early one, yeah.
I know, I got a spanner that fits the early one.
Yeah, well,
I've only ever
socket.
done a chain on these like for like.
Yeah, it's 27 mil for the big one, and the modified one's like 17.
Oh, right.
So it looks like someone's put the old tensioner back in. Yeah, she's timed now. That is the early type tensioner. So it looks to me like whoever did this chain didn't fit the new tensioner. That's the old one. If I open up the box of bits, I'll show you now. I don't know what he's given me here, but that ain't a timing chain kit. I have no idea. What does it say on the box? It says MG3 timing chain kit. What the fuck? The hell is that? That shouldn't be that fucking tight, I know that much. Nuisance.
Manual now, or should I shut it down?
No, I'm not going to need it now. Not till the new chain kit gets here. No, it's just that tensioner, I think. Why would someone put the old tensioner in it? That don't make sense. Because like it's got the new oil pump chain and gears and everything. They obviously had a complete kit. So why would you only fit some of it?
It's weird, isn't it? It's not as though it's a bolt you can't get out.
No.
It's not a massive bolt, and if you haven't got a spanner, there are grips to get that out.
Oh God, it's all right now. Is that sludge? No. I don't know why someone would put the whole tension in it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Sub that out of there, get a new one of them as well. So that hasn't been changed because that's definitely a white one. I didn't have the camera pointing at that, but that there is the old bush as well because it's supposed to be white. Loctite on that as well. Okay, it's all stripped and I've cleaned all the sealant off of it. It's all nice and clean, ready for the new parts when eventually they turn up. The water pump's been free, and if you look up in there, there's no signs of any leaks, so we can leave that. I'm considering putting the engine in the car as is and doing the chain with the engine in. Because as it is now, with the drive shafts out of it, if I push that car out now with no shafts in, the wheel bearings are going to collapse. So I think I might fit this as it is and then do the chain with the engine in the car, which is an arse really, because it's easier to do it with the engine out. I mean, it's easy to do with the engine in as well, but it's easier to do it with the engine out, and also you lot can see it clearly, you know, and that was my plan, to do it with the engine out so you can see it clearly how it all goes. But yeah, I don't know when the parts are going to turn up. Alright, so I've just moved the engine out of the way so I could drag that one over and get in the car, and I found that on the floor, and I thought, do you know what, that looks like a clutch arm bolt. So I've just taken the gearbox off again, there's a bolt missing out the clutch arm, so someone's done it and they haven't tightened that up and it's fell out. And what can happen with them is they get trapped behind the flywheel and they lock the engine up. Alright, it's a good job I found that. So it just so happens I have a gearbox here, so I will rob one of the clutch arm bolts from that and put it in. Okay, so I fitted a new bolt in there. That one was also loose, so that was a close call. Good job I noticed that, otherwise it would have been one of them ever since you scenarios. Right, let's get the box back on it. should go in there. Right. Right, stormed ahead, drive shaft in, mount on, exhaust manifold is on, as is the exhaust, this drive shaft is in, aircon compressor is on, power steering pump is on, alternator is on. Oh. Right, I've gone about as far as I can now. I'm just gassing up the aircon. I've just got to put some oil in the gearbox, that's coming later on. All the manifold and everything. You see me chuck the manifold in. And the wiring, obviously it's not connected at the top because I need to obviously get the rock cover on first after doing the chain. But yeah, I am about as far as I can go. I'm going to call it a video on this one because it's going to drag on too long, otherwise it's going to be over an hour long by the time I've done the chain and got it running. So there'll be a part 3 to this. But before I go, Mark, you asked me a question on the first video about the tappets on the MG3. So I'll just spin the camera around, look, and I got one out the head to show you. So there is a tappet out of an MG3. They are not hydraulic. They are various thicknesses between there, that face where the valve goes, and the top face. So there is no in-service checks and there's no service schedules to check the valve clearances on these. Once they're set with the right size bucket, it's like that for life, and unless you do any head work on it, you will never need to change these. So what you would do, obviously your cam goes on the top here, you would check the gap with a feeler gauge like you would any other normal adjustable tappet. And then if the valve clearance are not within spec, to actually adjust them you will need to take the camshafts out, which is quite a big job on its own. And then what you do is you get yourself a micrometer like that, and with that piece on the bit there that goes on top of the valve, and there you will then measure the thickness of the tappet. What, have I missed it? I have missed it. But anyway, that's what you do. Save me actually measuring it. I did measure it earlier and it was 3.35 mil. Let me get my micrometer out of there. Yeah, that distance between there and there was 3.35 mil. So obviously you do a bit of calculations with whatever your clearance is and the measurement of your bucket, and you would then select the right bucket to fit, you know, to give you the correct intolerance valve clearance. But during normal life, as long as the engine's running okay, there's no lubrication issues, these will never wear out and you will never need to adjust them. It is like, once it's been set, that's it. Right, I'm out of here. Right, take care of yourselves, you lot. I got a stinking cold, as you could probably tell. Yeah, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in part 3. Timing chain, God knows when it's going to arrive. They said tomorrow, but that's anyone's guess. But when the chain arrives, I'll fit the chain, and obviously, you know, there'll be a video up of it, me doing the chain and getting the thing fired up and stuff like that. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. All the best.